6:02 is the time right now. We have some breaking news from overnight in the Israel-Hamas war. Tensions continue to escalate in Israel as Israelis are demanding the release of hostages being held in Gaza by Hamas. For a third day, protesters took to the streets overnight to press the government to come to a deal. But unfortunately, a ceasefire and hostage release deal still seems to be a ways off. Here's what we know right now. Number one, negotiators will need to revisit the list of hostages to be released in any sort of eventual ceasefire agreement. And that's because, based on the framework of a deal Israel and Hamas agreed to in July, 3 of the hostages whose bodies were found over the weekend would have been released as part of the first phase of any agreement. Number two, recent in-person talks have not yielded a breakthrough, but new proposals are set to be presented to Israel and Hamas soon. And number three, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with the U.S. team negotiating the deal yesterday. Despite no headway, the White House says they're still hopeful.
And now, while all this is happening overseas, the impact of the Israel-Hamas war is being felt right here at home. We've seen countless protests across the states over the past year in support of both Israel and Palestine. And now, with the loss of 6 Israeli hostages, one of them being an Israeli-American, the call for the war to end is growing here at home. In fact, tonight, a vigil for the slain hostages will be held in Northwest D.C. It'll be held at the Adas Israel Congregation on Quebec Street. The congregation invites all to share in their collective grief and to stand in solidarity and prayer during this time of loss. Now, if you can't attend in person, the congregation will live stream the event. And this morning, we're also learning more about one of the hostages, Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland. Annie is with us now. And Annie, you've learned that he has ties right here to the DMV.
That's exactly right. He does indeed. And we have learned that Hirsch Goldberg Poland grew up in Richmond, Virginia, but he also had family in Montgomery County, Maryland. His parents became perhaps the most high-profile relatives of hostages on the international stage. And they met with President Joe Biden, Pope Francis, and others over the past few months. They also addressed the United Nations as well as the Democratic National Convention last month. And yesterday, they were among the thousands who attended his funeral in Jerusalem.
For 23 years, I was privileged to have the most stunning honor to be Hirsch's mama. I'll take it and say thank you. I just wish it had been for longer.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin released a statement saying, in part, Suzanne and I are angered and heartbroken by the death of Hirsch Goldberg Poland, a senseless murder at the hands of terrorists. The governor ordered all flags in the Commonwealth to fly at half-staff today. Also, Maryland Governor Wes Moore shared a statement saying, in part, we must stand together and we must seek peace. May Hirsch's memory and the memories of all those who have been taken from us too soon be a blessing. Calls to divest from Israel have been seen in our region just in the past 24 hours with protests outside of Baltimore City Hall. It was also seen just a few months ago, you may remember, at our local universities as student encampments took campus over for weeks. And with the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th attacks quickly approaching, we know that the University of Maryland has come out with new guidance on student demonstrations, and I'll have that for you coming up in the next half hour. Allison.
Sounds good, Annie. Thank you. And of course, we will continue to stay on top of any movement from a ceasefire deal, as well as any plans to remember the anniversary of the October 7th attacks. And for the latest coverage, you can go to WUSA9.com and our free mobile app, or you can watch us anytime on WUSA 9 Plus streaming app.